I would love to hear your thoughts on how our relationship with normal discomforts, specifically hot flashes and other menopause symptoms, also acne, angst with puberty, PMS, all the things that are deemed normal for human females. So I think that it's an interesting thing because there's often this experience of like what is normal that is actually a lot of times, even though I don't want to say like it's not normal. Of course, yes, we all experience all sorts of things within these bodies. But if we can actually think of them as symptoms, like remember when we were talking about within the pain is always the cure, right? The cure is always within the pain. So even if we look at these kinds of things, right, that are very much deemed normal, right? We look at acne is deemed normal, puberty, like mood swings, PMS, hot flashes, all these things are like, that's just the way it is, right? This all happens to everyone. But I would actually say that it isn't true. It isn't like that for everyone. And B, it is still a symptom, right? It's like, oh, this is still like what I would call like a minor pain. It's definitely not like, oh, I'm in so much pain that I can't manage this, but it is a minor pain. I don't even know if pain is the right word, but it's enough of the correct word that it gets us to where we need to go, which is toward the symptom, right? It's like everything, if we think of everything our body is doing as information, then it's giving us information. Like, look here, right? We have acne, it's like, look here. It's like, okay, well, why? Well, probably something is out of balance. And with acne, it can be so many things, right? So that's why so many people are like, well, it's just normal. And let's just like move along, like slap some like benzoyl peroxide on that face and you're fine, right? And there's nothing wrong. I don't want to like, there's nothing wrong if that's what we do. I'm just saying that still our acne is a symptom of something. Like there's heat in our system. Maybe we have a food that we're eating that doesn't work for us. Maybe we're having a hormonal imbalance that isn't actually working for us. There's so many reasons for it. But if we just ignore it, then we don't get to like what's underneath there. What is actually like in that pain? What's the real thing, right? And so that PMS too, like I think that especially as women, we often are just told like, well, that's just the way it is. It's like, well, we can survey humans and be like, that isn't the way it is for everybody. And why? It's like, well, because for some people, that's just like their hormones aren't working that way. It's like, okay, well, why? Like, how do we lean in more and more with curiosity? And I think that, I'm so grateful to have been like given a path in life where the medicines that I've been interested in have all done this. It's like all about curiosity, like leaning in, wondering why. Like, I wonder why that's happening. Because it seems like now a lot of our culture is just based on just like, we'll just stop the symptom. It's like, well, the symptom isn't always the thing, right? It's like, if you have a headache, and you take an Advil, you stop the headache, but why did you have a headache, right? Was it because there was like something that didn't work for you in your food? Was it because there was a chemical in the air? Was it because there's like your pillow doesn't work for you, right? There's a lot of reasons. It doesn't mean we can't take the Advil, but if we only take the Advil and we don't find out the information that it's trying to give us, then we're just going to recreate the symptom happening again and again and again. So all of these discomforts, normal discomforts of life, I would say let's lean in and just be curious and see if we can expect more for our health and our human experience. I think that we you can be like, I actually do expect more for me. I don't expect that I'm going to just suffer from hot flashes and have that be the way that it is for 10 years, because that's what I've been told is normal. It's just this like highly discomfortable. Wow, I just really made up that word. Highly uncomfortable experience is just the way it is because that's the way it was for my mom and my stepmom and my aunts. And I've seen everyone has this, that's just the way it is. Dang, I'm just going to be a little fire every once in a while. Like maybe, or you could work with somebody to help figure out why and to actually help manage the underlying things so that it isn't like that for you. And I know that it's possible. So that's how I think about like those kinds of things is I have a high expectation of delight in my body. And so when it's not that way, like, okay, well then why? Let me help myself figure it out and make it a priority for myself so that I can actually experience bliss within my body.